All right, listen up, because what I'm about to drop on you isn't just some feel-good fluff. This is the real deal, straight from years of grinding and watching folks win, and sometimes stumble on their path to a life that truly hits different. We're diving deep into what it truly means to sync up with yourself. Forget the noise, the endless chase for external validation. The real players, the ones making a true impact, they get this one fundamental truth. Inner harmony isn't a luxury, it's the foundation. Ever stop to ask yourself, right here, right now, are you truly in tune with yourself? Most folks are out there hustling for success, but in that mad dash, they totally miss the most crucial piece of the puzzle, aligning with their inner game. Welcome to the spot where future self-made millionaires and true world changers gather. What's the common thread among the real achievers? It's not just about killer external results, it's about nailing that profound harmony with their inner world. Think about Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder, who absolutely locks in 8 hours of sleep every single night. Or Elon Musk, the Tesla visionary, who consistently carves out time for meditation. These aren't random quirks. They're all built on the bedrock principle of self-alignment. I've been there myself, chasing external wins, totally losing touch with my own core. But the moment I started reclaiming that inner harmony, everything shifted. Today, I'm going to spill the beans on the 10 rules true success stories live by to achieve this self-alignment. Get these, live by these, and your life will start transforming, starting today. Why? Because infinite possibilities are already chilling inside you, waiting to be unleashed. Let's get into it. And hey, if this resonates, do me a solid and subscribe to Reset Mindset. You're going to want to stick around for the whole ride. All right, let's peel back the layers on what it truly means to thrive, not just survive. This isn't about some secret handshake or a magic pill. It's about getting back to basics, about understanding the fundamental rhythms that govern our lives. The world out there is screaming a million different ways to succeed, but if you're not vibing right on the inside, all that external stuff is just going to feel hollow. We're talking about self-harmony, the kind of alignment that brings clarity, power, and genuine fulfillment. The 10 rules for self-harmony. Rule 1. Find your optimal rhythm. You hear it all the time. Wake up at 5 a.m. 4 hours of sleep is enough. The early bird gets the worm. Society is flooded with these cookie-cutter success recipes. But here's the secret sauce. True success isn't in blindly following the crowd. It's in discovering your optimal rhythm and honoring it. When do you feel your best, most productive? When does your creativity really flow? Ignoring your natural rhythm to mimic someone else's is like forcing a nocturnal owl to fly during the day. It just ain't gonna work. Take Haruki Murakami, that legendary novelist. For over 30 years, he's been waking up at 4 a.m., writing for 5 hours, and wrapping up his work by 2 p.m. For him, this unique rhythm unlocks peak creativity. The point isn't necessarily to be an early bird, it's about finding your most effective flow. A lot of people beat themselves up thinking they're weak-willed because they can't become morning people. But here's the science. Your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, is heavily influenced by genetics. Trying to force a change will inevitably backfire. It's like trying to wear shoes that don't fit. Eventually, your feet are gonna hurt. An ill-fitting rhythm will always mess with your body and mind. As a life coach, I've seen so many clients struggle, trying to force themselves into some ideal rhythm. I remember one executive who, convinced all successful people were early risers, pushed himself into chronic sleep deprivation. When he finally accepted my advice to honor his natural rhythm and embrace his night owl tendencies, his creativity and productivity absolutely soared. Want to find your rhythm? It's simple. Imagine you're free from all appointments and obligations for a week. What pattern emerges when you naturally wake, sleep, and engage? That's your authentic rhythm. But I have to adjust to society's rhythm to survive, you might say. True. But the key is identifying what's non-negotiable and what you can tweak. Your work start time might be fixed, but the rest of your day can be reorchestrated around your flow. The highest value in your life is generated when you're operating in sync with your true rhythm. Start understanding and following it, and your energy will naturally surge, your creativity will explode. The power to change your world isn't in external rules, it's in aligning with your internal rhythm. Rule 2. Prioritize your health, body, and mind. Some folks chase success by sacrificing their health. That's like cutting off both your arms to grab a pile of cash. You won't even be able to hold on to it. Mary Barra, the CEO of GM, leads the world's largest automaker but still prioritizes her health rituals. Her belief: sound judgment only comes from a sound body and mind. She makes sure to get her daily exercise and proper rest. Her sharp decision-making and sustained leadership? They're totally dependent on that unshakable health foundation. What is health, really? It's not just not being sick. The World Health Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. When these three elements are balanced, that's where true health lives. I've seen many people, and frankly, I've been there myself, struggling to balance success and health. I was out there preaching the importance of health to clients while running myself ragged with late-night sessions. It took hitting a wall, collapsing physically, to realize that without the foundation of health, any success is just a house of cards. Some say they're too busy to invest in their health. But think about it. If you lose it, all your time will be spent dealing with illness. Someone who gripes about not having 30 minutes for exercise can end up spending 24/7 on treatment when they get sick. That's the universe's twisted irony. Stanford University research shows that executives with regular exercise habits have 23% better decision-making abilities than those without. Another study found that employees getting enough sleep are 34% more productive than their sleep-deprived counterparts. Successful people don't prioritize health just to live longer. A healthy body and mind are the only way to keep creativity, focus, decision-making, and relationships all operating at peak levels. Prioritizing health means choosing long-term sustainability over short-term gains. Are you going to pull an all-nighter to hit a deadline or get proper sleep and do high-quality work the next morning? The former might get you praised in the short run, but the truly successful always pick the latter. Starting now, make health your non-negotiable priority. Specifically, lock in these 3 habits: 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, 3 to 4 times a week of 30-plus minutes of regular exercise, and a nutritionally balanced diet. These are your shortest path to success. When your body and mind are on point, everything else naturally falls into harmony. Rule 3. Make time for introspection. Truth is spoken in silence. If you're on a quest for wisdom, you know what that means. Modern society constantly demands outward action and results. But true success stories consciously carve out time to look inward. They know that the most valuable insights emerge from stillness. Bob Dylan, that legendary musician, has always valued introspection as the source of his unparalleled creativity and self-reinvention. He constantly seeks solitude for contemplation, carving out time to just be with himself. The result: timeless music and, eventually, a Nobel Prize in literature. The depth and enduring power of his lyrics came from this habit of inner reflection. What exactly is introspection? It's more than just looking back. It's a deep dive into your thought patterns, emotions, and behaviors to understand their root causes. It's the only way to uncover and transform unconscious motivations and limiting beliefs within yourself. True change always starts with introspection. The best strategies and tools won't work without self-understanding. I used to constantly chase new knowledge and info, but the real turning point for me was when I started carving out quiet time to just be with myself. As I dug deeper, I recognized the true motives behind my actions and the limiting beliefs I'd unknowingly adopted. Meditation, journaling, quiet walks, or just simply sitting and thinking. The method is yours. The key is to regularly engage in a conversation with yourself. Science backs this up. People who practice introspection have higher emotional regulation and greater stress resilience. Harvard Business School even found that employees who spent 15 minutes a day in reflection improved their performance by 23% compared to those who didn't. I don't have time for that, you might think. But consider this. How much time do you unconsciously spend scrolling on your phone, in meaningless meetings, or doing things to meet other people's expectations? Cut just 10% of that, and you'll have plenty of time for introspection. Most average folks blame external factors for their failures and frustrations. The economy's bad, my boss doesn't get it, I don't have time. But true success stories know that all results stem from their own thoughts and actions, and they understand that only through introspection can they transform those thoughts and actions. Here's how to start tomorrow. Find a quiet 15 minutes, morning or night, and sit with one question. Are my current actions truly leading me to the life I want? Just asking that question will start opening the doors of your consciousness. Knowing yourself deeply is the first step to unlocking your potential. Rule 4. Manage your energy. Only those who can manage their energy can truly run their lives. Which is more important, energy management or time management? Modern business obsesses over time management, but the real game changer is energy management. Why? Because the value you create in the same hour can differ by tenfold, depending on whether you're full of energy or running on fumes. A consistent trait among successful people is meticulous energy management. They schedule their most crucial tasks during their peak energy hours and use lower energy periods for recovery or simpler work. Just by adopting this simple principle, the output from the same amount of time can dramatically shift. I used to think working longer hours was the key, but I eventually realized that even during a 14-hour workday, my actual high-focus, productive time was maybe only 4 hours. The rest was just me zoning out, exhausted. By learning the principles of energy management and incorporating rhythms of focus and recovery, I literally halved my working hours while doubling my output. The science of energy management is clear. Your brain operates in roughly 90-minute cycles called ultradian rhythms. You can achieve high focus during these cycles, but then you need a 20-30-minute recovery period. Ignoring this rhythm and forcing prolonged concentration leads your brain to automatically enter what's called micro-sleeps, lasting a few seconds, and efficiency plummets. Energy has 4 dimensions: physical energy, stamina, emotional energy, quality of feelings, mental energy, focus, and spiritual energy, sense of purpose. Peak performance only happens when all 4 are balanced. To boost physical energy, sleep, nutrition, and exercise are non-negotiable. For emotional energy, practicing gratitude and building positive relationships works wonders. To optimize mental energy, be mindful of focus and recovery rhythms and take regular breaks. And spiritual energy? That grows from having a purpose aligned with your values. Here's one simple habit to start tomorrow: the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a full 5-minute break. After 4 sets, take a longer 15-minute break. This simple rhythm helps many people optimize their energy flow and dramatically boost productivity. The world's true heavy hitters are all energy management masters. They precisely understand how their energy ebbs and flows and design their days around it. Start focusing on managing your energy, not just your time, and your quality of life and results will skyrocket. Rule 5. Embrace silence. In a world drowning in noise, silence becomes a revolution. Smartphone notifications, social media updates, constant email pings, racing from meeting to meeting, most people live surrounded by this endless racket. But true success stories consciously carve out time for silence. even amidst the chaos. They know the most valuable insights emerge from stillness. Yuval Noah Harari, the author of the global bestseller *Sapiens*, is a known practitioner of meditation and silence. He participates in long meditation retreats every year, spending time in complete silence. He says, "The core insights of my books come from this time of silence." To deeply contemplate humanity's past and future, you first need to distance yourself from the modern noise. His unique historical perspective and future outlook were forged through this dedicated practice of silence. The value of silence is scientifically proven. Research from Duke University shows that spending more time in silence helps generate new cells in the brain's hippocampus, a region vital for memory and learning. Another study from Penn State University found that people who had 20 minutes of silence daily had 30% lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol than those who didn't. From my experience, many people actually fear silence. Why? Because in silence, you're forced to confront yourself. Anxiety, fear, dissatisfaction, desires. People have become accustomed to constantly numbing these emotions with external stimuli. I, too, for a long time, didn't grasp the value of silence. I was so caught up in being productive that I was always listening, reading, or watching something, even while commuting or eating. It was as if silence scared me. Then, one day, I boldly tried a 24-hour total input shutdown experiment. The first few hours were brutal, but gradually, a space opened up in my mind, and answers to long unresolved problems just naturally emerged. Now I make sure to get at least 30 minutes of complete silence daily. This habit has dramatically boosted my creativity and intuition. Some might think silence is a luxury, but it's not. It's the oxygen for your mind. Without it, truly creative thought cannot flourish. Here's a silence habit you can start tomorrow. For just 10 minutes, morning or night, turn off all electronics and sit in a quiet place. You don't need to do anything special. Just be, feel your breath, and observe the flow of your thoughts. This tiny habit will eventually bring about massive change. Don't fear silence. Make it your ally. The most precious answers are found within it. Only those who aren't tossed around by external noise and listen to their inner wisdom can truly find their way in this noisy world. Rule 6. Connect with nature. The feel of dirt under your feet, the wind on your face, the rustling of trees, the chirping of birds, the murmur of a stream. These connections with nature have become a luxury for modern humans. Spending most of your day surrounded by concrete walls and artificial light isn't how humans are meant to live. Remember this: for tens of thousands of years we evolved as part of nature. Our brains and bodies are designed to function optimally in harmony with the natural environment. Leo Tolstoy, the literary giant, was a writer who emphasized living and contemplating in nature. In his diaries, he wrote that, "When we leave nature, we leave the truth of humanity." Masterpieces like War and Peace and Anna Karenina were born from Tolstoy's deep observation and introspection during his rural life. In his later years, he deliberately chose a simpler life closer to nature, idealizing contemplation and labor in natural settings. The profound understanding of humanity found in his works was cultivated through this connection with nature. What happens to the human brain when it's in nature? Science shows that in natural environments, activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning and decision-making, calms down. Instead, the default mode network, which handles creativity and self-awareness, becomes more active. In essence, nature is literally a switch that shifts your brain into creative mode. The practice known as forest bathing, Shinrin-yoku from Japan, is gaining global popularity. Studies show that just 30 minutes of forest bathing can reduce levels of the stress hormone cortisol by 16%, lower blood pressure, and improve heart rate variability. Immune function also gets a boost, with natural killer cell activity increasing by over 50%. People who reconnect with nature consistently report higher creativity, happiness, and overall well-being. One client told me that simply adding a weekly forest walk dramatically improved her insomnia and anxiety, which she'd suffered from for years. But I live in the city. I don't have access to nature, you might think. That's just an excuse. Nature doesn't always mean vast forests or mountains. It could be a city park, a bench under a street tree, or even a houseplant by your window. Even that offers some benefits. Most average people view nature as an extra. They say they'll connect with nature when they have time, but that time never comes. True success stories integrate nature into their daily lives as an essential element, just like eating and sleeping. Here's how to start connecting with nature tomorrow. Schedule at least one 30-minute nature walk per week. If possible, turn off your smartphone or at least put it on silent. Just walk, breathe, and soak in your surroundings with all your senses. This simple habit will eventually transform your mind and body from the ground up. Seek connection with nature. It's the path to reclaiming your essence. Humans are born to be part of nature, designed to live with it. Reclaiming this fundamental connection unleashes your innate power. Rule 7. Sharpen your senses. Your 5 senses are the gateways to experiencing this world. But most people only have those doors halfway open. How many senses are you aware of right now? The feel of your clothes on your skin, the hardness of the chair against your back, the lingering taste of your last meal, the sensation of air entering your nose, the layers of sound around you. All of these influence your experience, but often they don't even surface into your conscious awareness. Osamu Tezuka, the legendary manga artist, was known for his incredible creative power. He drew over 150,000 pages of manga in his lifetime, earning him the title God of Manga. One secret to Tezuka's constant innovation was his exceptional observation skills and sharp senses. He famously said, "A manga artist's eyes must always be open, paying meticulous attention to everyday moments, people's subtle expressions, and movements." He would walk through the city, sketching faces and gestures in his notebook, then incorporate them into his work. This sharpened sensory awareness was the wellspring for masterpieces like Astro Boy and Black Jack. What does it mean to sharpen your senses? It's not just about passively receiving info from the outside world. It's about paying attention to the subtle shifts happening inside you too. Body tension, heart rate changes, breathing patterns, intuitive gut feelings. These all hold vast amounts of information. Scientific research indicates that over 95% of human decision-making happens through unconscious processes, many of which are based on bodily sensations. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's research at the University of California shows that patients with impaired emotions and bodily sensations struggle with even simple decision-making. In other words, senses aren't just subjective experiences, they're an information processing system crucial for decision-making. The most insightful people are always sensitive to their senses. Before making important decisions, they don't just rely on logical analysis, they also pay attention to what their bodies are trying to tell them. It took me a while to understand the importance of my senses. I was educated to value logic and analysis, taught not to be swayed by emotion, to be objective. But there was a time when all my logical analysis pointed one way on a critical decision, yet a strong sense of unease lingered. I ignored that feeling, made the logical choice, and experienced a massive failure. That lesson taught me the importance of trusting my gut. Here's a simple practice to sharpen your senses: the 5 senses check-in. A few times a day, just for a minute, pause and ask yourself 5 questions. 1. What do I see right now? Sight. 2. What do I hear right now? Hearing. 3. What do I smell right now? Smell. 4. What do I taste in my mouth right now? Taste. 5. What sensations do I feel in my body right now? Touch. This simple habit will dramatically heighten your sensory awareness, leading to richer experiences and sharper intuition. Sharpening your senses is how you connect more deeply with the world. It's not about collecting more information, but increasing your sensitivity to it. When your senses are sharp, you'll spot opportunities others miss and avoid dangers others don't even notice. True wisdom comes to those who experience the world with their entire being, not just their heads. Rule 8. Prioritize recovery time. The biggest lesson we can learn from elite athletes is the critical importance of recovery time. Olympic gold medalists, world champions, those at the pinnacle of professional sports, they all prioritize recovery over training itself. Why? Because they know the truth. Growth happens during the recovery period after the effort. The same holds true for business and creative fields. But sadly, modern society is flooded with toxic messages like push harder and rest is a sign of weakness. Kim Kardashian, successful in both media and business, might not be who you'd expect, but she has a rigorous recovery routine. She says, "My schedule is always packed, but that's precisely why conscious recovery is essential." Despite running multiple businesses, appearing in media, and cherishing family time, she surprisingly dedicates specific, consistent time every day for complete rest. This habit underpins her sustained creativity and energy. What is recovery? It's not just doing nothing. It's an active process to restore your body and brain to an optimal state. Quality sleep, proper nutrition, physical relaxation, mental detachment, completely disengaging from work. All are elements of recovery. Scientific research shows that adding just 1 hour of sleep can boost cognitive performance by over 30%. Another study found that participants who took 90 minutes of complete rest per day showed a 21% improvement in creative problem solving. Ironically, while I was giving these talks, there was a period when I wasn't practicing what I preached about recovery. I'd preach the importance of rest to clients. Yet my own schedule was packed from morning till night, with weekends filled with seminars and training. I was a prime example of easier said than done. One weekend, after a series of seminars, a sudden, overwhelming fatigue hit me, and I realized the joy I normally felt for my passionate work was completely gone. In that moment, the importance of applying my own teachings to myself truly sank in. Now, I carve out at least 1 hour a day for conscious recovery. Since adopting this habit, my insights and creativity have soared, and the quality of my client interactions has deepened. Most importantly, I rediscovered the joy in my work. Many people don't know how to rest. Their rest is just another form of stimulation: social media, binge-watching videos, alcohol. These don't rest the brain, they exhaust it further. True recovery only happens when you're free from all input and demands. Here's a recovery habit you can start tomorrow: the digital sunset. An hour before bed, turn off all your electronic devices. Use that time for reading, stretching, or connecting with loved ones. Just this alone will dramatically improve your sleep quality and make a huge difference in your next day's performance. No time to rest in this competitive world, some might think. But that thought is precisely what keeps average people average. It's common sense that someone trying to run a marathon at full sprint won't finish. Don't dismiss recovery. Strategically incorporate it. If you want sustainable success, consciously design your recovery time. True champions aren't just focused on their performance in the arena, they're obsessed with the quality of their recovery behind the scenes. Rule 9. Engage in soul-nourishing activities. The purpose of life isn't to be happy, it's to be meaningful. Few truly grasp the profound meaning of this statement. Genuine fulfillment doesn't come from external expectations or societal success. It springs from within, from a sense of authentic satisfaction. What are soul-nourishing activities? They are activities you get so lost in, you forget time exists. Moments when you feel truly alive. Experiences that make energy bubble up from inside you. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called this flow state and defined it as an optimal experience. Stephen King, the master of horror literature, maintains an astonishing pace of creative output without burning out. His secret: he values time for soul-nourishing activities as much as his writing. After his daily 4 hours of writing, he always dedicates time to activities that make his heart sing, listening to music, taking walks, spending time with family. In interviews, he says the source of his creativity is life itself. If he doesn't live, if he doesn't have time for living, his well of inspiration will dry up. This philosophy underpins the creativity that has produced over 50 bestsellers. Science shows that engaging in meaningful activities activates the brain's reward system, releasing happiness hormones like dopamine and serotonin. These don't just lift your mood, they're linked to improved immune function, increased creativity, and enhanced resilience. As a coach, I've noticed many successful people grapple with a strange lack of satisfaction. They climbed the ladder of societal success, but felt hollow inside. True fulfillment doesn't come from social approval or external achievements. It only comes from engaging in activities that make your soul rejoice. I, too, for a long time, fell into the trap of, I'll be happy after I succeed. I convinced myself I just had to endure work now, and someday, when I had time, I'd do what I loved. But meeting an old mentor changed my perspective. He was nearing the end of his life, and he told me his biggest regrets were the things he didn't do. From that day on, I decided to dedicate at least 1 hour every day to something I genuinely enjoyed. Amazingly, this seemingly unproductive time actually tripled my creativity and productivity. Some might think they don't have luxury time for this, but that's a fundamental misunderstanding. Soul-nourishing activities aren't a luxury. They are a prerequisite for sustainable success. Someone not fulfilled from within will eventually burn out or be tormented by emptiness, even if they achieve success. Here's a practice you can start tomorrow. Every week, carve out a non-negotiable block of time for an activity you genuinely enjoy. Maybe it's playing music, painting, or simply walking in nature. The key is to treat this time as sacred and never sacrifice it for any reason. This is self-investment, and in the long run, it yields the highest returns. Don't dismiss soul-nourishing activities. Consciously integrate them into your life. Inner fulfillment fuels outer success. True abundance only flows from joy that overflows from within. Rule 10. Listen to your inner voice. All the answers are within you. Don't ever forget that truth. Modern society constantly screams at you to look outward, gather more information, listen to more opinions, analyze more data. But the true masters know that the most crucial voice is the one within. Albert Einstein, the scientific giant, emphasized the importance of his inner voice in his scientific discoveries. He said, "Intuition is a sacred gift, and reason is its faithful servant." His revolutionary theory of relativity was born from intuitive flashes, not just logical deduction. He often said he felt the answer through thought experiments before solving the equations. This trust in his inner voice was the wellspring of his groundbreaking discoveries in science. What is the inner voice? It's not just an emotion or a mood. It's the voice of your essence, your soul, your deepest wisdom. Intuition, gut feelings. These are all manifestations of your inner voice. Some think an inner voice is unscientific, but that's a huge misconception. Latest neuroscience research shows that the human brain processes millions of times more information at an unconscious level than conscious thought. Your inner voice is the result of this massive information processing. It's like a chess grandmaster instantly feeling the best move. On the surface, it seems like intuition, but it's actually thousands of hours of experience and knowledge integrated at an unconscious level. Some say they can't hear their inner voice, but it's simply because they haven't cultivated the habit of listening. Hearing your inner voice is simple. First, temporarily shut out the external noise, other people's opinions, societal expectations, your own critical thoughts. Then ask a specific question inward and pay attention to the answers that emerge. It might be words, images, or just a feeling. Before I became a life coach, I was on a completely different career path. I had a stable income and social status. From the outside, I was successful. But deep down, there was a constant unease. When I was alone at night, the question, "Is this truly my path?" kept recurring. But societal expectations and external validation kept me suppressing that inner voice for years. Then one day, during meditation, with overwhelming clarity, that voice resonated. Your mission is to help people find their true selves. The decision to follow that voice seemed irrational from the outside. It meant giving up income and status. But the moment I followed my inner voice, a new vitality and meaning entered my life. Looking back, I'm convinced that inner voice knew my true essence best. Most average people, fearing uncertainty, rely more on external, certain information than their inner voice. They keep looking outward for the right answer, and as a result, they drift further from their own essence. It's like someone who lost their house keys desperately searching on the street when they're clearly inside the house. Here's a practice you can start tomorrow. Every morning, sit quietly for 5 minutes and ask yourself, what do I truly desire? Then, receive the answer without judgment. At first, you might feel like you hear nothing, but if you keep at it, a clear voice will gradually emerge. Don't ignore your inner voice. Cultivate and strengthen it. The most valuable answers are always within. In this illusory world, only those who listen to the quiet inner voice can find their true path. Trust your inner wisdom. It will always guide you in the right direction. So, let's recap the 10 rules for self-harmony. 1. Find your optimal rhythm. 2. Prioritize your physical and mental health. 3. Make time for introspection. 4. Manage your energy. 5. Embrace silence. 6. Connect with nature. 7. Sharpen your senses. 8. Prioritize recovery time. 9. Engage in soul-nourishing activities. 10. Listen to your inner voice. Living a life that prioritizes harmony with your inner world, not just the outer one. That's the secret of true success. Here's the simplest, most effective action plan you can start today. The Daily Harmony Ritual. Every day, at the same time, carve out just 15 minutes that are completely yours. Phone off. Notifications off. 15 minutes totally free from other people's demands. In that time, practice deep breathing, self-reflection, sensory awareness, and listening to your inner voice. It's just 15 minutes, but consistently doing this every day will deepen your self-harmony little by little. Finally, one last powerful truth. When you change, the world changes. Never forget this simple, potent truth. Building self-harmony isn't just about self-improvement. It's about creating a ripple effect that impacts the world through you. Your individual existence holds immeasurable influence. The source of that influence isn't in external actions. It's in inner harmony. Act now. This very moment is the only time you have to change your life. If this video hit home for you, seriously, drop a comment below and tell me what resonated. I'm also here for your questions. Members of Reset Mindset get priority answers, so if you're serious about leveling up, you know what to do. Join the community. Bonus part. And for those of you who stuck around till the very end, here's a special insight, a +1 rule that underpins all 10 of these. Everything is a choice. Choosing to find your optimal rhythm or not, that's a choice. Prioritizing your health or not, that's a choice. making time for introspection or not. That's a choice. All of these are the result of your own conscious decisions. Stop making excuses and embrace the power of choice. Instead of saying, "I'm too busy, I don't have time," change your words to, "I chose not to prioritize that." This small shift in language will fundamentally transform your consciousness. Incorporating this +1 rule into your daily life will help you reclaim true agency. And agency, your power to choose and act, is the most potent source of self-harmony. I believe in you. You have the power to build deep self-harmony and, through that harmony, create a positive impact on the world. Let's start that journey right now. Thanks again for watching all the way through. I'll catch you in the next video.